I was working at Talent Africa as the casting director as well as the administrator. Yeah.
Right.
So he gave me a job 2012, if I remember very well, 2012 August. That's when he gave me a job. And so I made this all that because when I was, let me take you back, 2012, when I started doing all these shows, I had to like retire. I'm
You had
not
to leave
retire. I had to like leave
design
design agenda. Yes,
Mm-hmm.
I had to like write an official letter, thank them so much because they did so much for me. They were sad, but then I had to move on
Yeah.
because then the newspapers are writing about me. Then ABC, I'm like, you know what? I think next new level. Let's do this.
Mm-hmm.
So 2012, I'm working with Talent Africa. So I worked with Talent Africa for 2 years, 2012, 2013, 2014. Yeah. Because I was working with them, but at the same time, run my agency, do other things. But it was very hard, like super, super hard, because the job at Talent Africa was a full-time job.
Okay.
But I'm super thankful, grateful to Ali Alibai because he told me so many things. One thing I learned from Ali was you have to be business-minded. That's the one thing I learned from,
Because before you were just doing everything
no,
like
before
side
it was just
hobby,
like, I
not
just
make
get
money.
ABC, da, da, da. But then I learned how to deal with clients. I learned how to sign contracts. I learned how to do, the business side of it. For you to not just say, oh, you know what, you have this. But then for you to know that there's substance. If someone wants to book someone, they have to sign contracts.
Yes.
There's a day rate. There's all these rates. I learned all these things from Talent Africa. So, 2012, I'm working, 2013 Miss Uganda, 2014 Miss Uganda, then 2015 I started working with Miss Tourism.
Okay.
Yeah, I left Miss Uganda, then started working with Miss Tourism. So, I worked with Miss Tourism 2015, 2016, 2017, 2018.
So you were deep immersed in the pageant world.
Exactly.
Yes.
Like, I loved pageants so much. Because remember, my big sister Drusilla, she did Miss Uganda, and I always loved everything about pageants. The grace, the poise, just getting these girls learn how to walk, like, right from them being swans to being, from being ducks to being swans, from all those things. Like, I just loved everything about pageants. Miss Universe, Miss Earth, all those things. So, worked with Miss Tourism for all those years.
Yeah.
And then 2019, that's when I stopped working with Miss Tourism. And then I was like, you know what? I just want to be independent. I want to do all these things. So taking you back, 2013, when we were in 2013, they started advertising that there's going to be Africa's Next Top Model.
Yes.
That's the time Oluchi was advertising, you know what, there's going to be Africa's Next Top Model. So I tell all these girls, you know what, Africa's Next Top Model is coming, Africa's Next Top Model is coming, but then they didn't come to Uganda. They only went to Kenya and then South Africa, Nigeria, other countries, 12 countries, they didn't come to Uganda. So I told all the girls, you know what, let's go and try. But like how girls are like, okay, we're going to go. They form a WhatsApp group, we're going to go. But then as dates go closer,
Get closer, they're like,
and they're like, oh. But then Aamito was like, you know what, I'm going. Aamito plus another girl called Aamito, Rachel. They got on the bus,
Yeah,
went to
remember the
Nairobi.
story.
Exactly, went to Nairobi. And the beauty about it is that Aamito kept quiet. Flash was just like, and that's the same day. That same day we did Miss Uganda 2013. It was July 13th, if I remember very well. The same day, that's the same day they were. Actually, that's the same day they were casting for Africa's Next Top Model. Got on the bus, went to Nairobi, and she was very lucky. She kept advancing, and she made it. She was the Ugandan, finalist. But when she came back, she kept quiet.
Okay.
She didn't tell me. She didn't tell anyone. I think she only told her mom. Because, they make them sign contracts.
Yeah,
you
she
can't
wasn't
say anything
supposed to,
that you're
yeah.
not supposed to tell. And she knew that if she tells me, I'm going to, blow it out of proportion. Make sure everyone finds out. Yeah.
Okay.
So 2013, she's doing Africa's Next Top Model. And then 2014, that's when she won. So when she won, that was another big breakthrough for me.
Yeah.
Huge breakthrough. I didn't know what this actually meant because when she won, she had to, get signed to different agencies in New York, Paris, London, and Milan. Because remember, back then for us, we're just walking here. We're just walking here. We're not.
So you were just looking.
We were just looking here. We were happy. We didn't know that there's thousands of dollars, euros, pounds out there. But we were very happy because locally we were, newspapers are writing about us, all the bloggers, ABCD.
And also you're just thinking that's another world.
That's
how there's the divide.
Exactly. All I thought about that was you know what, major inspiration. I'll go see how these shows run, ABCD. But I don't think we're ready for that. So when she won Top Model, Africa's Next Top Model 2014, that's the time it sunk in that, I think everything needs to, grow up. So when she won, my big sister, Aamito, plus my auntie, everyone was like, you know what? This is the time. Register the company.
Yes.
Register the company because so many people are going to start coming to you. So many people are going to start asking, we want to book Aamito, we want to do ABCD, we want endorsements, and you need to be properly organized.
You need to be ready.
So we registered the agency in 2014. So literally that was the rebirth.
Okay.
Something like that. We registered it, Joram Model Management. So after her winning, she had to, move to New York. She was working in New York, London, Paris, and Milan, and she was very, very, very influential in my life because she kept on advising me. She's like, you know what, Joram, we've been doing this in Uganda, but this is how things run. Because remember now she's working in New York, Paris, London, and she's like, you know, every model must have a pay rate, every model must have working hours, every model must do ABCD. This is how you scout for models. This is the type of models that we want. This is the type of look. This is what is trending. Because to me, all I knew was, you know, every tall, skinny girl can be a model.
Yeah,
which is not.
Oh no.
true
They have
at
to
all.
have that special quality.
Special features, special everything. But you know, I didn't know all these things. Like to me, I was just like, you know, skinny, tall, we're gonna do shows. So when she won, I remember when she won Top Model, we had to do for her a party, you know, like a welcome party and all that. Oluchi flew in. So at that party, she had a cousin. Her cousin is called Patricia Akello. This girl she was constantly stalking me the whole time. She was sending me messages, you know what, I want to be a model, ABC. But she was very skinny, she's dark, and to me I was like, no. Like I was like, maybe no. And she kept stalking me the whole time until when Aamito won, Aamito was like, you know what? At my party, we're going to have a fashion show because we organized a fashion show. It had Gloria Ravamuno, Santa, Kwesh, if I remember very well, Renzioni, all those other designers. So at that show, Aamito told me I want my cousin to walk. Her name is Patricia Keller. And then I'm like, oh my goodness, that's the girl I've been.
That's the girl I've been ignoring.
That's the girl I've been ignoring. And she emphasized, she's like, if Patricia is not walking, I'm sorry, I'm not showing up.
Ooh, okay.
So I was like, so we met Patricia, and you know, Aamito kept telling me, John, this girl has what it takes to be an international model.
Okay.
But because I was blinded, like the definition of beauty here was completely different.
Yes.
To me, beauty was completely different, like very, very different. So I was like, you know what? Okay, the girl will walk. But then when we were doing rehearsals, I made Patricia walk like 1,000 times. Okay. You know, like how it's just like, I'm not convinced about this girl. Because we had like other girls that used to do all the shows. So Patricia comes in, I made her walk like 1,000 times.
Like,
walk, exactly. I'm like, go, go, go. And then she kept just going. So guess what? During the show, when we did the show, Gloria Ravamuno, Edward Sempa, they came to me and they were like, I think this girl is amazing. But then to me, I was like, I didn't know that definition of beauty then. Like to me, I didn't know that broad shoulders are in. I didn't know that girls with cheekbones.
Yeah,
like to me, it was just like
big lips as well.
Exactly, big lips. Like to me, I was just like, oh, maybe, maybe not. So, and even still at that show, Oluchi was there. Oluchi, the host of Africa's Next Top Model. And I remember she was like, there's something special about that girl. She told Aamito, and then she told her, you know what, if I come to Uganda, because they were supposed to come to Uganda the next season, but then, you know, it didn't happen. If I come to Uganda, that's the girl that I'm looking at.
Okay.
Crystal, my eyes were wide open.
You suddenly realized, wait,
that's
I'm missing
when I
something
realized
here.
that I'm missing something here. So, you know, immediately after that, I had to sign her, and then Patricia started doing so well locally. Like all these designers were booking her, everyone was booking, and I'm like, this is the girl.
So that also changed the way you started scouting after that
is
and the
thing.
look
like,
you're going
it
for.
changed my whole perception about, you know, international models, what the international world was looking for. So the same year, 2014, you know, there was a scout from South Africa that contacted me and they're like, you know what, Joram, we see what you're trying to do, because by then we're posting on social media, we see what you're trying to do. Can you send us some of the models that you have? So I sent in all the models that we had. I didn't send Patricia.
What happened?
She's gonna kill me when she's watching. I didn't send Patricia because I was like, maybe she's not their type of look that they're looking for.
Anyway, you're being honest.
I'm being honest, like to be
Yeah.
honest. And you know, besides that, I was like, she's a new girl. She just came in because remember all these other old girls were working from 2012, 2013,
They had
now
experience,
2014. They had experience. So I was like, I think Patricia is not ready yet. So I sent in all these girls, and then the scout said, no, they don't have what it takes. So you know, I told myself, you know what? Maybe let me just send in the fresher girls, the fresh new girls. Sent in Patricia. The minute I sent in Patricia, the scout was like, yes, we want this girl. Is she available? We want her to come to South Africa. It's like, what?
Okay.
Started working on the visa papers, did everything in just 1 month, November, got everything. The girl was signed to an agency in South Africa, Fusion Model Management.
Wow.
Just like that. And then, you know, I think when it happened, that's when I learned. I started like learning all these things, and I'm like, oh, these are the features, ABCD. So she moved to, you know, South Africa, and she was working there. And in just 1 year, she had to get agencies in New York, Paris, London, Milan, all the big cities. It sunk in. It was so fast, like really, really. You know, like Patricia is a great model. Like right now, I see it and I'm like, yes. I see
But also
that
she had the determination, right?
she had the determination. She wanted it really, really, really bad. But you know, like when she was going to South Africa, when she was doing all, I was very supportive because when you place the girls with international agencies, you become their mother agent.
Exactly, because that's the thing. Like once they move on, how do you keep track? So
How
you
do you
have to keep that relationship?
That's the whole thing,
alive.
because you know, like before they leave, they sign contracts with you, and then we also sign contracts with the agencies that we place them with. Because when you are the mother agent, you get 10% off all their earnings.
Okay.
Lifetime until they say I'm done with modeling. You get 10%. So you know, when she was moving, we signed mother agency contracts with the agencies. She signed contracts, and then that's it. So it doesn't matter whether you know a girl one day is gonna wake up and say, you know what, Joram, I don't want you to be my agent. Da 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 da. You know. It still works,
Okay.
you know.
You still have that foundation.
Exactly, they still have the foundation.
And now, all these many years later, how many girls do you have placed internationally?
Right now, there are 12. But it's been a learning experience because, you know, from Patricia, we got the first boy ever to be signed internationally. His name is Paul Mwesigwa. So we placed Paul in 2016. And back then, like, I used to place, like, all my girls and boys.
Why is it for men, it's like a very different story?
Because, you know, modeling is a business that is predominantly female dominated, to be honest. Like a lot of people that buy clothes are women. A lot of people, the biggest consumer of, you know, fashion is literally women. That is why, you know, the boys do work, but then they don't work that much.
They don't get to that
They don't
supermodel
get to that
status.
supermodel status.
And you know, in the world today, we're always looking at, you know, the fields where for women they're at a disadvantage. But a lot of people forget that sometimes when it even comes to fashion and modeling, it's like the men, they work very hard, but they don't get to that level.
Like literally modeling is a business whereby if you started modeling in a year, you're going to make like, say, at most $100,000 if you're working in New York. If a boy started modeling in a year, he's gonna make like say 30, 40, unless he's very lucky that he's booking literally everything. It's a job where females book so much than the men. So we got Paul 2016 and got signed to South Africa, and from Paul we had to get a Catch Joy Winnie, you know, signed her to South Africa as well. But then I realized back then I was signing most of the models to South African agencies, and then Aamito kept telling me, you know what, you can actually send these models directly to Europe. It doesn't have to be them starting in SA. Because the whole thing is, you know, we thought they have to start in South Africa, develop, and then they can go to Europe and then US. But she was like, no, a girl can just come fresh from Uganda, go straight to, you know, Europe.
You can bridge that gap.
That's the whole thing. So 2016, 2017, we have a Catch Joy Winnie, South Africa. So 2018, the start of 2018, that is why that is the time I was like, you know what, maybe let's start Europe, because then I was doing a lot of research. I was on Instagram like a problem, and then Instagram is another social media that has really, you know, helped me a lot. It's one platform that has pushed my career to the fullest, because I've met so many scouts on Instagram. Like literally, I'm not gonna bash all these other social media platforms and something like that, but then all the international scouts, all the agencies, all the creative directors, all of them are on Instagram. That's the whole, and legit legal, all that. So you know, I was on Instagram so much. I was following all these big agencies. I'm following all these casting directors, all these, you know, bookers, and they would follow me back. And, you know, just like that, I would write to them. I'll be like, you know what, I have some, you know, African models. Would you love me to, you know, send you proposals, things like that? And they'll be like, yeah, perfect. Send us any, you know, any that you feel like have what it takes, send us. So I started like sending in proposals to different agencies altogether. And that's when Europe came in the picture. Exactly. And the first girl that we sent directly to Europe was Aliette Sarah. This girl has done so well, Crystal, so well. In just 1 year, she has literally worked for all the biggest brands in the world, right from the Versace, Gucci, name it all. Everyone, Marc Jacobs, she's done literally everything.
You know, that's fantastic. But we were talking about like how for many families, many parents, they still have a traditional mindset. You're talking about getting these girls when they're really young, and then saying they're going to be models, and then sending them away from home. Have the families been receptive? Because I can imagine there's some families who are like,
it's tough. It's
our daughter has to go to school. Let her finish school first.
Exactly. It's super tough, because right now our age group is between 15 to 22. We scout girls from 15 to 20, because you know, when you scout them when they're still young, you have time to develop them.
Yes.
By the time they're 17, 18, you know, they're quite ready. So there's this incidents where we scouted a girl. Her name is Ayak Veronica. We discovered her when she was 15, 16. So she got her big breakthrough at the age of 18. And when she got the big breakthrough, she was supposed to, you know, go straight to Europe. That's in Paris, Milan. And, you know, all these agencies were very ready, like super ready for her, super excited. So I had to go meet the parents, because that's the thing that I do. Like, I have to do it.
to do that.
I have to do it. I mean, you're not just going to get someone's daughter, put her on a plane, and then send them. You meet their parents, talk to them. Whether they claim they're orphans or anything, we have to meet their guardians.
Yeah.
So we usually meet the parents. So the first time I met Ayak's mother,
Yeah.
she was like, you know what? I was planning on marrying my daughter off. Because in South Sudan, when someone hits 17, 18, you know, they're going to marry them off.
That's the
And at the end of the day, this girl is super tall. She's 6 feet, almost 6'1".
And the taller the better.
The
That's
taller
their
the
standard
better.
of
So
beauty.
she was telling me, you know what? She's too tall, and they're promising me 1,000 cows. So I was looking at this lady, and I'm like, let me tell you something, mom. This is one girl that will change your entire life. Right from just your life, your siblings, literally the whole clan, the entire clan. She is going to do so well. She's going to transform so many things for you. But then she was like, no, modeling is for just prostitutes. It's for call girls. It's for A, B, C, D. Like, she was just arguing. And, you know, like, her argument was valid at some point, because this is one person that doesn't follow fashion. Like, she doesn't understand what the fashion, you know, industry is all about. And here I was telling her, you know what? We are going to fly your daughter to Paris. She's going to be working for Valentino. She's going to be doing ABC. And she's like, no, she's not going anywhere.
Because she was focusing on what she knows and what's best for her daughter.
Is the whole. And then Ayak was still in school as well, because she was in her final year, high school final year. That's last year. But then I told her, mom, you know what? She will go do seasons and then come back. When I say seasons, it means you can just go work for 3 months, come back study. 3 months, come back study. I told her, no, she will do her seasons. And then I even told her, mom, I will pay, you know, I'll pay for their air tickets. I will pay for everything, pocket money. Don't worry about that. Because I was telling her all this to just, you know, make sure she's relaxed, she's safe. She's not going to tell me, oh, we don't have money, we don't have A, B, C, D. Because their family is a bit more, it's a very humble family. But then it took her like forever until she said, you know what? I'm trusting you with my daughter on one condition. If she is trafficked, I will take you to jail.
Oh my goodness.
And I'm telling her, mom, look at the girls that we've worked with. Look at Aamito, Akello, Aliette. They're all doing very well. But then for her, she was like, no, I know what those girls do. I know exactly what those girls do. And if that's what my daughter is going to be doing when I was just planning on marrying her off, I will take you to jail.
But you know, in a way, I mean, much as it's like, really, you want to just marry her off?
Yes.
It was coming from a place of love. She wanted to protect her child.
That's the whole thing. She wanted to protect the child.
The best way she thought she could.
Exactly. And then here I'm changing her whole, you know, mindset, her whole perception. But then she agreed. And then when she agreed, I was like, you know, mom, we have to go together to the airport. So, you know, got her into the car. We went together to the airport. I had to, you know, send her off. But then the mom was crying. She's like, my daughter, ABC. And I'm like, mom, she's going to make you very proud. And thank God, 4 days in Paris, this girl worked for Valentino.
Awesome.
Just 4 days in Paris. You know, like how you just land, and then the minute you land, they're sending you to castings, or like automatic. The minute she landed, she had already booked Valentino, so they sent her to, you know, do her fittings, sent her to do all these things. But this is another girl that is okay. She loves fashion, but then she's not so fashion forward. Like, she doesn't know who Naomi Campbell is. She doesn't know who Alec is. She doesn't know all these big girls. That's the whole thing. So, you know, she arrives, goes straight to Valentino. She's doing the fittings, and then she walked the show.
Wow.
And then I told her, mom, your daughter just walked Valentino. She's like, okay, where's the money? And I'm like, mom, the money is going to come.
It's coming.
She just started. And then the funniest thing is that even the daughter, Ayak, when she was backstage, because when Valentino did that show, they cast a lot of models of color. Like, out of like 60 or 50 models that they had, almost 40 were all models of color. Like, a lot of black girls and all the legendary girls. So Ayak is backstage, and me the whole time I'm like texting her. I'm like, you know what? Who is backstage? We've had Naomi's walking the show. She's like, I see a lot of black girls. I see a lot of black.
Oh, so cute though.
Exactly. And in my head, I'm like, okay.
Which black girls?
Which black girl? She's like, yeah, I just see a lot of black girls. Even like when she was done with the show, I'm like, you just walk with Naomi Campbell, you just walk with Alekwe, you just walk with all these big girls, Myra, Chanel. But then Trish was just like, okay.
Well, that's kind of cool though.
That is the whole thing.
Because that's like a complete, you know, fresh start for someone.
Like she's not bothered that she's walking with Naomi.
She's not going to try to be like someone else. She's just going to grow in her own.
That is the whole thing, yeah. So, you know, slowly by slowly, she started doing like a lot of shows. She was doing Milan. She's doing, you know, Barcelona, Spain, Madrid. Like she's doing a lot of things right now. And she started taking care of the family already. She's paying tuition for, you know, her sisters, her siblings, and then all that. And now the mom is like my best friend. Yeah.
But it was the journey, clearly.
But it was the journey. That is the whole thing. That is the whole. But then, you know, other parents do get it. The other parents do get it. It takes time, but then, you know, slowly by slowly, they start to understand how it works. Because the beauty about it is that we do have a lot of success stories right now. Because if you look at Aamito, look at Akelo, look at Aliet, look at Akech, look at Joy or whatever, look at Ayak, look at the Gucci girls that just debuted, Ayen, and then a dude. I mean, there's so many success stories. At least there's evidence.
So you can actually track it and show
that
people.
Is the whole thing. Like we show them videos, we show them these girls. We even sometimes make sure these girls talk to, you know, some of the parents if they're really, really, really hard. So the business
really
is now growing. At least parents are believing in it more and more.
Now, for these girls, you're like a mother hen, I know. You're
that
like a mother hen,
and
taking care of them.
A super tough one.
Because it's a very tough industry.
Very, very
because
tough
a lot
job.
of people also want to be models and want to get there.
Yes.
But they don't realize how hard the work is.
It's very, very hard. That's the whole
long
thing.
hours.
Long hours.
You must be professional.
You must be
no
professional.
one cares how what you're going through.
Like no one cares. That's the whole. Because I remember when Ayak was flying to Paris, that was her first time on the plane to go, you know, to an international destination. So she reaches Paris and then she gets lost at the airport. And remember, they're waiting for her to take her for fittings for Valentina. And she's like, oh my goodness, these people speak French. Okay, I can't blame her because she was 17 and a half, almost 18. And then it's very tough. And I was just yelling at her. You know, like how your daughter would call you and tell you, know, Mom, I'm lost at the airport. But then to you, like, they're waiting for you for the big fittings. You don't understand what this means. And I constantly remind them that they should never forget where they came from.